Okay, good evening. I'm James Exum coming to you from my studio in my home in South Austin, Texas. I normally speak on the subject of yoga philosophy, which is my specialty, but tonight I'm going to speak on a different subject. It's part of yoga philosophy, but I've narrowed the parameters for us. And what I'm talking about tonight is, in this day and age, is very important. It has to do with the subject, a paper I wrote a little while back, karma being out of balance on Earth. It seems to be that way, wouldn't you agree? It doesn't seem to be moving properly. It seems to be a little out of whack. That's an old old expression from older citizens like myself. So I'm also going to address it through the paper, which is titled Karma Out of Balance on Earth, the Divine Intervention of Vishnu. Now, Vishnu is one of he's the Hindi god of preservation. You have Brahman, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and so forth. Shiva, the destroyer. So let's just jump in here. Karma, in its simplest definition, refers to the universal law of cause and effect. The world faces chaos, suffering, and a decline in virtue. In these turbulent cycles, the Creator, often identified as Brahman or the Supreme Consciousness, acts to restore harmony by sending forth Vishnu, the preserver, in various incarnations or avatars. He doesn't necessarily appear as himself. He can come as an incarnation or an avatar. The nature of karma and its balance. Karma operates on as an impartial force, rewarding righteousness and punishing wrongdoing. Well, we definitely need a big dose of that to kick in just about now, I would say. In a world governed by free will, humans and other sentient beings continuously create karma through their intentions and actions. Now, you have good karma, you have neutral karma, you have bad karma, you have historical karma, you have future karma, you have daily karma, you have cosmic karma, you have global karma, you have political karma, which this one is definitely on that subject, and so forth and so on. Historically, such imbalances are depicted in sacred texts such as ages of darkness, and that's also called Kali Yuga, or periods when evil seemingly triumphs over good. That's the important word there, seemingly triumphs over good. Okay, so now we're going to roll down the Creator's response, the role of Vishnu. Vishnu is the preserver. You have, as I said, the Creator, the preserver, the destroyer. According to ancient Hindu scriptures, when the world reaches a critical point of imbalance, and I think we're about 20 seconds to midnight on that one. World War II, we were definitely at a critical point of imbalance. The Creator does not remain passive. Instead, a divine intervention becomes necessary to recalibrate karma. So we will be recalibrating here. And to reestablish Dharma. Dharma is the path of righteous karma. You can have bad dharma, you can have good dharma. Dharma and karma are cousins, so to speak. I always call them the cousins. Vishnu, revered as the sustainer of the universe, is entrusted with this sacred task. He descends into the mortal realm in the forms of avatars, divine incarnations, each tailored to address the specific challenges of the era. Vishnu's avatars, agents of restoration. Vishnu's 10 principal avatars, known as Dashavatara, provide a framework for understanding how cosmic order is restored. From Matsya, the fish, saving humanity from a great flood. Well, then in the Christian, that's Noah and his family. To Rama, upholding justice, and Ramayana, and Krishna guiding Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra in the Mahabharata. Each avatar emerges during times of profound moral crisis. Well, I've been on this earth 75 years, and in the last 8, I have seen some moral crisis. Through wisdom, strength, and compassion, Vishnu's avatars defeat evil, protect the virtuous, and realign the world with the principles of Dharma, righteous Dharma. Sort of sounds like the old intro to the Superman series that I watched as a child in the 50s, the symbolism of intervention. Vishnu's interventions are not simply acts of power, but are embodiments of cosmic compassion and the Creator's commitment to the welfare of His creation. His avatars teach humanity the importance of righteous action, the dangers of unchecked desire and ignorance, and the transformative power of devotion and selfless service. By restoring balance, Vishnu assures that the cycle of karma continues, giving souls the opportunity to learn, grow, and ultimately attain liberation, which is moksha. And I'm going to conclude the paper, the discourse, with this. The discourse on karma and the intervention of Vishnu highlights the dynamic interplay between free will and divine guidance. When karma on earth becomes imbalanced, the Creator responds through Vishnu, providing hope and direction to the world in turmoil. These episodes remind humanity of the enduring presence of the divine, the importance of living in harmony with Dharma, and the promise that no matter how dark the age, restoration and renewal are always possible. And I'm going to add to that by saying restoration and renewal are on the way. So I'll end with that portion of my discourse. Now I'm just going to go ahead and let me save that work. And now I'm going to go ahead and ad-lib out the rest of this little video. Like I said, I've been away for a while, so I'm a bit rusty. Just a little bit rusty and a little hairy, and an untrimmed beard, and a little unbalanced, and a little, perhaps a little gray, but there's no vanity. I know I'm not a handsome dog. I just know I'm an old dog. So here we go. We're going to close that out, like I said. For some reason it didn't close, but let's try it again. And everything is closed out. Okay, so as you and I both well know, under our present form of leadership, and I'm using that term loosely, we as average unwealthy human beings have suffered mightily, and there's more to come according to what's being broadcast in the free press and in the biased press. There's more to come. The biased press, of course, says it's all the golden era, everything is wonderful, the prices of everything are down. If you don't believe me, just go buy 2 pounds of coffee. You only have to mortgage your house once to do that, especially if you throw in a couple of pounds of bananas. Being an old yogi, I kind of sort of live off of coffee and bananas. And not doing bad, as I said, at 75. My diet is unusual, to say the least, but that's okay. It works for me. So in this, I'm not going to mention any politicians by name or any sect of politics by name. I'm not going to get into the R's and the reds and the blues and the D's. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to call names or name names, and I'm definitely not going to point out individuals for the problems that we're suffering through at this moment. But I will call out facts and figures. The facts are, we're not in a golden age unless you're a billionaire and you're raping the stock market, you're raping the commodities market, you're just doing as you damn well please and getting tax breaks to boot. This is a known fact, and this is a really terrible unbalance of the human global karmic situation. We're all American citizens. We should all have the same justice. We should all have the same set of rules to live by. No one's above the law, even though they crown themselves kings in these posts they do on their sites with these AI figures of them wearing crowns and robes and so forth and so on. Dictatorship seems to be the golden calf that everyone in that area of politics and that level of politics are bowing to and worshiping on a daily basis. Well, we know what happened to Mussolini. He didn't enjoy his last few seconds on this earth hanging by his heels from a piano wire from one of the support beams of a service station or a bus station or whatever it was over in Italy. The people got fed up, and I'm not causing any threats here, or I'm just mentioning a historical fact. And of course, Adolf Hitler and his crowd down in that bunker while the Russians moved in from the west and the Allies moved in from the east, and he and his wife, newly married wife, and his pet dog Wolf committed suicide supposedly in the bunker, and then were taken upstairs and put in a shallow pit and had gasoline poured over them. Their bodies were burned and then buried over. Well, when the Allies from Russia came in, they found this, and when the Americans got there, they found that. And so ends the life of a tyrant. A few minutes on the mountaintop, and forever in the Christian fires of hell. Now that's karma. That's some heavy duty karma, wouldn't you say? And that's the way it goes. You remember historically that when Mussolini was being surrounded and they were hunting him down, Hitler sent in a crack team to save him and put him in a mountaintop villa along with his fiancée or his choice de jour in women, and sort of protected him. Tyrants, like pirates, protect their own. Well, here we are back on the subject of karma. You do good things come your way. You do bad things come your way. It's that simple, boys and girls. Just remember, be a good person, not a bad person, and karma will treat you properly. And go the other route, and karma will balance the books. And that's the way it goes. And I think this is going to be the end of my presentation. And I think we're a hell of a lot closer to karma trying to right the world than we were the last time I spoke. We've seen rejection in the Congress. We've seen information being passed that it has to be open to the public, even though it'll be whitewashed and redacted here, there. It looked like the old-fashioned New York Times Sunday crossword puzzles with all those little black spots in there, and there's only certain short words that can be filled in to complete that mind tease, that crossword puzzle. Well, I'm not puzzled by any of it, and anyone with a thinking mind and a political bent toward history, which I am a student of history. In fact, I'm the witness to history. My surname in my broadcast is Sakshi, which means the witness. So I'm James Exum, and I'm known also as Sakshi on YouTube, on my channel. So please support me if you want to. Don't bother with it if you don't want to. But remember this. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And be kind to strangers. Because karma is watching, remembering, and balancing the books as time goes forward. So I think I've said enough. It's almost 15 minutes into this. Sorry about any interruptions. Well, it's imperfect, and like I said, I've been away for a while. So thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed it, pass the word. And be good to yourself, like I said. And keep the faith, my friends, because Vishnu is on the job. So you're going to see some righting of the wrongs coming fast and furious. So enjoy the show, stay safe, and see you later.